there is another conversation to be had about poor officiating, and specifically in college basketball, because now you look at 2 games this week where they were good basketball games, but the storyline isn't about how good the game was and the players and what they did and how people were able to come together and the runs that they went on. The storyline's about the coach in the post game talking about how he was ejected from the game sitting in the locker room watching on closed circuit TV.
Yeah.
And that it's a problem because there are too many games that are happening like that where the officials are storylines. I think back to the football season. There's a lot of bad officiating in college football too. I think it is a true issue that needs to be addressed. And I've got some solutions in my mind. I'll let y'all go. I'll let y'all jump in and talk about this before I start throwing out my solutions, but it's a problem.
Well, one thing that shocked me is these guys, they're not full time.
Yeah.
And with the amount of money that is in college sports, how are these guys and girls not full-time employees? Because I feel like if they're, if they're not getting the proper training and everything, they're not going to, be as well as professional.
Officiating's a hard job, and to have another full-time job on top of that, I can understand that point. They're probably bad because they can't put enough time into their craft.
Right.
I think for me, I don't want officials have been the story for the last 2 weeks in college basketball, right? I don't think that's a good thing, especially when we're getting close to March and the NCAA tournament. I don't want to have to be talking about an official when we should be talking about these student athletes that are having these great performances. So it's frustrating, and from the standpoint of, the technicals, look, if you want to tee a guy up, tee a guy up. At the same time, some of these things are not worthy of ejection. And when you start ejecting head coaches for things that don't, aren't justified, that's when it becomes a real issue.
I think they're justified. I think they're ticky-tack. And so if you're the coaches, I think one of the things you do in the offseason is in your coaches meetings, you talk about that and say that this should not be something that we can get ejected for. And then that takes all of the gray area out of it. I think that officials need to be graded on their performances every week, which they are, but the grades have to be tied to something. It's like if you're in college and your GPA dips below a certain point, they'll kick you out of school.
Yeah.
I think
they should be held accountable.
They should remove the officials, send them back to training, and then when they get back right, they can get back on the court or on the field. And for football, I think it's as easy as sending someone up in the booth and they can buzz down, hey man, you need to pick that flag up or you need to throw one. You had an egregious missed call, but they got some problems right now.